Everybody always skips reading the terms and conditions, but these are terms you won't want to miss. Welcome to Pokemon Sleep Kindergarten, only on the internet. Today we're covering the ABCs of Pokemon Sleep. A is for A, B, C, A, B, C. These are called ingredient spread, A. Every Pokemon from level 1 has an ingredient slot available, and it's called the A ingredient. Let's use Squirtle as our example. If its first ingredient is milk, that's A. Wait, not if. It will always be milk. If its level 30 ingredient is milk, that's an A. If its level 60 ingredient is milk, that's an A. If its level 30 ingredient is cacao, that's a B. If its level 60 ingredient is cacao, that's a B. If its level 60 ingredient is bean sausage, that's a C. And thus we see that you can get various combinations. A. And now I guess we've covered the ABCs, so that was fast. B is for Berry Bomb. A Berry Bomb is when you put a legendary Pokemon that has Helper Boost main skill on your team for the week leading up to, or 2 weeks leading up to, or however long you want, leading up to an event leading up to a Monday, and you click on that legendary Pokemon and you collect its stuff, but you don't click and collect from the other things on your team, and so they fill up with a bunch of berries, and they even exceed their inventory. Trust me, that's how it works. Anyway, you can fill them up to 999 things, and then on a Monday, you drop it. Also, you can drop it on any other day, but Monday is strategically the best day. C is for Crit. Pokemon Sleep players use the word crit for too many things. When you're befriending Pokemon with biscuits, a crit means that you got a big hit or a mega hit. A big hit is when you get multiplied by 3, whatever you got, and a mega hit is when you auto catch the Pokemon. A crit, when cooking, is when your dish becomes extra tasty, and that's actually just called extra tasty. A crit when you're triggering skills is not when you get a double skill trigger. It is when certain Pokemon have an additional bonus on their main skill. The first one we ever got like this was Mimikyu about a year ago at Halloween. It has Disguise Berry Burst, and it has a chance once per day to do Extra Dextra Berry Burst. Umbreon has a chance to crit. Mawile has a chance to crit. Honchkrow has a chance to crit. I'm probably forgetting another one. We'll probably see a lot more of these. D is for DSM, which stands for Dream Shard Magnet. About time we actually hit you with an abbreviation in this video. Also, D is for DPR. That stands for Drowsy Power Requirement. It's not something that the game ever teaches you, but it's something that separates the casual players from the players who have done some reading. Basically, Drowsy Power Requirement is how much drowsy power you need to get a particular sleep style in your campsite. So yes, you need to get Snorlax's ranks up to get sleep styles to show, but also you have to meet the drowsy power requirement. E is for E. E is for E. E is for E. E is for E4E. That is an abbreviation for Energy for Everyone, which is the most important main skill in the game. Don't forget it. F is for F2P, which stands for Free to Play, and that signifies players who do not spend money on the game. Typically, they're playing with a lot more resource conservation. F is also for FL, which I have to think about every single time I see, and it's probably because it doesn't apply to my game yet, but FL stands for Friendship Level. Okay, wait, Friendship Level definitely applies to my game. Friendship level is the thing that increments every time you befriend a Pokemon. But FL10, FL40, FL whatever the other numbers are, players use this as an abbreviation for friendship level. G is for Generalist. A Generalist is a Pokemon in Pokemon Sleep that is good in any area. Basically, it's your Charge Strength S and M, Skillmons, Golduck, Ampharos, Sudowoodo, Espeon, maybe Sceptile now can be a Generalist if you get a good one. Oh wait, still a skill specialist, count it. But basically it's a Pokemon that is giving you great strength regardless of its berries, regardless of its ingredients coming in. And some people use Generalist more loosely to mean anything that gives you great total strength anywhere. But you're not putting your gold seeds on a berry specialist in 2025. Save that for 2028 or something. G is also for GG, which stands for Golduck Gang. H is for a lot of things. H is for Healer. That means any Pokemon that has a healing main skill. H is for HB, which is an abbreviation for Helping Bonus. H is for HSM, which is an abbreviation for Helping Speed M, and the M stands for medium, and HSS, which is an abbreviation for helping speed S, and the S stands for small. I is for investment. This is a key term because that's basically what you're doing in this game. You're deciding what Pokemon to invest in or not. And then every day, the Pokemon that you put on the field are basically like the stock market. Some days they do exactly what they're supposed to do, and some days they don't. But learning when to invest and when not to invest is critical, and you'll see people use the word invest to mean, should I put resources into a Pokemon? I is also for IFM, which stands for Ingredient Finder Medium. I is also for IFS, which is Ingredient Finder Small. And I is for Ingredient Spread, which takes us back to the beginning again, because that's where we started with AAA, AAB, AAC, AAZ. And since that brings us back to the beginning, I guess we'll just start the list over. J is for, just kidding, let's keep going. K is for skills. Okay, that didn't work because it's actually, I was gonna do sub skills at this part. All right, we're going for it. Sub skills can be gold, blue, or white. The white sub skills are most common, the blue ones are less most common, and the gold ones are the rarest. Getting Pokemon to certain friendship levels, FLs, will guarantee gold sub skills in slot 10 at friendship level 10, and go look up the rest. L is for lonely because no one's playing Pokemon Sleep, and you're not gonna have anyone to talk about this in the real world, only on the internet. M is for main seed, which is just an abbreviation for main skill seed. Did we really need to abbreviate that? Why don't we call it MSS? M is also for M20, which stands for Master 20. You'll also see people using M19, M18, M17, M16, and so on and so forth, but no one's out there bragging about Ultra being like U5 or Great being like G4. Oh man, I totally messed up and I switched my team out when I was meaning to do a berry bomb, and so I only got to B3 on Monday morning. N is for Neroli. N is also for NDA, which means I can't tell you anything more about Neroli, but there's O is for overstacking, which is another term that is used to describe a berry bomb because you're stacking over a Pokemon's inventory. P is for P2P, which stands for pay to play. This term, like F2P, is not unique to Pokemon Sleep. It's a common term for mobile games and probably other games if I played them. Basically, it's people who are spending money on a game. Often in games, P2P means this person is getting better stuff than you and is going to beat you. But in Pokemon Sleep, there's no competition other than your pride. So how much do you want to pay for pride? P is for pride. P is also for pip. When you're feeding a Pokemon a biscuit, it has a little bars that you fill in for friendship levels, and some of us call those pips because pip means something tiny, I guess. And I guess that works because those things on the Pokemon are really hard to count. You have to like zoom in and it's like, oh my gosh, how many do I have left on this 16 Pitmon? Like, do I need to be using a Great Biscuit right now or a Poke Biscuit? It's hard to tell sometimes. P is also for proc, and that's another word for when a Pokemon helps, meaning it finds you a berry, or it finds you an ingredient, or it triggers its skill. You'll hear people say skill proc, and you'll hear people say pity proc. And pity proc basically means if your Pokemon hasn't procced its main skill for a long time, eventually it's guaranteed to do it. Your Pokemon is not guaranteed to find an ingredient after a certain amount of time, and it's not guaranteed to find a berry if it's only finding ingredients, but it will eventually hit its skill trigger. Pity proc. Q is for quit whining about RNG. R is for RNG. RNG stands for random number generation, and it is why your Pokemon is not triggering its skill and not finding you ingredients when you want it to. RNG is the sworn enemy of dopamine. RNG is what determines what Pokemon spawn in your camp. RNG is what determines what stats your Pokemon have. RNG is what determines if you're having a good or a bad day. Well, okay, in the game. I really hope we're not in a simulation. Tron Ares releases October 10th. R is also for research experience, which is stuff that you get every time you check a Pokemon sleep styles in your camp and that allow you to progress in the game. S is for Snorlax. Nope, it's not. Too basic. S is for shiny Snorlax, which you probably have never had even if you thought that you did. You can always tell when a new player gets to Cyan Beach for the first time because they go, oh, I got a shiny Snorlax, look, it's green. Shiny Snorlax is not green. Shiny Snorlax is like blue. But the way to know that you have a shiny Snorlax is sparkles. Sparkles. If your Snorlax is not sparkling, it's just a variant color. Ooh, S is also for sparkles. S is also for STM, which stands for skill trigger medium. S is also for STS, which stands for skill trigger S. Oh, small. S is also for subseed, which is the thing that I say all the time when I'm trying to say silver seed or subskill seed. So that one might be channel specific. I don't know if other people say that. S is also for subscribe. S is also for sleep experience, which is the experience that your Pokemon get when you get good sleep. Don't do it for yourself. Don't do it for your health. Do it for your Pokemon. T is for... I didn't write anything down. What's T for? Tell me in the comments. U is for the person playing Pokemon Sleep. U. Man, I'm really running out of ideas right now. V is for event. Pokemon Sleep has events. And sometimes they last a week and sometimes they last more than 1 week. Read the news. Oh man, I should have done N is for news. No, I should have done U is for the person who reads the news. You, because you're watching YouTube, so obviously you're like paying attention to the game, right? W is for whale, which is to describe those people who would drop what some of us would consider an obscene amount of money on video games or Pokemon Sleep or this channel. Whales are the ones who allow free-to-play players to play games because they keep them funded. Thank you, whales. And I'm pay to play. You spend 1 cent and then you're pay to play and there's nothing in between. You're just... People are like, you're not free to play anymore. I even got accused of being not free to play when I posted a screenshot once when I had used the free trial of the premium pass and I posted a screenshot and they're like, how are you free to play? You have the premium pass. Boo. X is for expert mode, which is a thing you get when you hit Master 18 on Greengrass Isle and maybe by the time you're watching this, Master 18 in other areas. But it's basically harder than normal mode, which is not what we used to call just playing Pokemon Sleep, but now we call it normal mode. X is also for exchange, which is what they call all the different shops in the game. Y is for YouTubers. Hey, Pokemon Sleep has YouTubers. I'm one of them. You probably follow more than one because there's only a couple of us. And Y could be for you, but U is for you. So make YouTube videos with me. Come on, people. Y is also for why haven't more of you joined my channel as members? Because we could be hanging out in the Discord. And Z is for sleeping. Shh. Pokemon Sleep is really fun. I hope you've enjoyed learning about the ABCs of Pokemon Sleep. Let me know what terms that you were hoping I would define but I missed because I don't know what you don't know. Let's do this again sometime. Happy researching!